You know what gives kids a bad name these days? Elon Musk. Welcome to the latest edition of the Allotment Diaries, part of an adventure in taste and time. Starting this week at the allotment, then unfortunately looking how my seedlings doing at home. Not great news. Another lovely day. There's been some wind today. I think there's a bit of stuff strewn over the site a bit. And we have some flowers on the fruit trees. So everything is coming to life here apart from just two, which has spuds. Maybe they will. Gooseberries looking great. Maybe flowering soon. I may have to start thinking about netting them. And raspberries, I inherited them, so they're an easy win. And the cauliflowers, rhubarb looking jolly. This is where the asparagus goes. It's mostly covered, and if you look here, you can see why, because I've built a little ridge that they're going to sit over.
So this is how I went about it. This is definitely after work because, as you see, it's a beautiful evening, but it's getting dark. I dug an initial 2 trenches. There will be a third, but that'll go where I've piled up the earth from the first 2, so that's going to be quickly done when the asparagus arrives. And another sunnier day or afternoon, I'm putting in a layer of manure along the bottom of the trench. Just smoothing it out with a hoe. Then backfilling with a little of the soil. Not all of it. And now with my hands I'm shaping that into a ridge. So we end up with 2 ridges along the bottom of each trench.
Still got to rebuild the polytunnel. I've had some thoughts about how to secure this properly. Oh, by the way, the asparagus are coming in sometime in the next week. So over here, the broad beans were suffering. When I look closely, the original stalks were blackened and long, but all bar one had actually grown new growth from near the root. So I cut off these odd bits, and they're looking a lot better. I've also planted the second batch I made from seed, which, in typical of being right little peril monkeys, you know how apparently I think when you transplant they moan about it for about a week. But I don't know if it's watering or what, but these beetroot just seem to be drying out. Maybe I need to maybe I should have compacted the compost a bit more. And ditto, very little happening with the carrots and parsnips. I think there's one appearing, but we'll water everything. Peas for shoots, looking okay. And these peas are now transplanted, but a lot of them are suffering, or even not gone. I think I have plenty more saved seed for these.
Here are the peas that I've already grown in biodegradable pots that you can plant directly into the soil. And here is my plant potting device. You push it in and it comes out with the soil, which you can then release and pop the pot in. And reviewing this, I realised I should have shored in the earth far more around that, which is why I think that particular one did not survive.
So not a problem really. I'll just get some more going, and it would be to probably get a longer harvest. And started building the trellis for the runner beans, which aren't even sown yet, but they will be soon. Over here, potato news. So this is Charlotte, and we have 2 potatoes here, germinated. Now I think I've sown these 2 near to the path edge, but we'll see what we can do. But this is, I think, Swift, and these, remember, are the first potatoes in my life I have ever grown. Yes, Swift. And then now come up, so Swift actually has lived up to its name, is Rocket. So they're all earlies. I'm not too worried about main crop. I'm not a big fan of boiled potatoes, to be honest, but I love new potatoes, either fresh or in the salad, and that's why I've gone for these. And later in the year I will have some in pots, which will go into the greenhouse, which will be for Christmas dinner. But just take a look. The strawberries are looking great. Now, will I need to leave the door open to let pollinators in? I don't know. We're going past the shed, which needs a tidy, and we need to replenish the bird table with some seeds. I think in here these need to be planted out soon, very soon, and these asparagus for next year I think I'm going to take home today and pot them up. And these, there's just one, I don't know if you can see it popping through. These are sweet corn. The cabbage either needs watering or taken to cool areas. I might even just put them on the table outside. Ditto the cauliflower. Well, some might be recovering, but the artichokes are looking good. We can be planting them out soon. So, okay, mixed news here. But now, for less jolly news, let's go back to see what's germinating at home. So, here at home, this is where things have not been going so well, namely seedlings, where I've messed up. So looking first here, we have cucumbers, germination okay,
But I made a silly mistake of... let me just explain what I'm doing here. Because I don't have much any more room under the grow lights, I am taking these outside in the morning, put them away at night. So in this little mini greenhouse, gets nice and warm. But I decided to use the same plug tray to sow some red cabbage for winter, and of course it got too hot for them. A couple were rescued, I'll explain later. Here is the asparagus, which has magically become here, which is going to be potted, and these are a kind of red radish and flax, which I'm growing as microgreens. And down here is some mustard microgreens and amaranth. The mustard and the flax, I actually bought the seeds. They were just selling lots of food from a shop selling them off cheap, and they're perfectly viable, as you can see. Well, flax for some reason is a bit slow at the back. Not quite sure why. Down here, this is basil, nothing happening. And down here is some mixture of herbs, which I may have cooked again. So over here, I am taking I think more things just outside so they're not overheating. Now, this is those red cabbages. I've rescued 3 before they all got completely boiled off, and I've planted in the other cells some more. This is cress, Mustard and cress, the old school day staple. Again, done it again. One day I took this out to keep it cool. This is lettuces. Forgot about it. Forgot what I was doing, and I put them inside the greenhouse for a day, and that just completely killed them off. Except I noticed there's one seedling just appeared, but I'll go into things. But urgently, I need to resow some lettuces. So coming around here again. Again, I put it in too hot. This was chard on one side and spring onions on the other, and apart from one spring onion, it had all stopped. I made it too hot and it killed them off. So I've resown chard on the left side, and you can see that is now going through. And exactly the same, these radishes, I killed them off. I've resown in the same plug trays, and they are coming along. And these are the ones that I managed to boil a few weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago when I was away. This is a mixture of lettuces, and I just left them outside. And as you can see, up until recently I thought I was going to get nothing, but it's looking like a few lettuces are recovering, because it's probably worth just keeping that plug tray till they're big enough not to get eaten straight off.
Things look okay underneath the grow lights. I suppose the skymelish, which just seems to be gigantic and has been since it was seedling, that's what it does. We shall see in time. Anyway, after all this death and destruction I've caused, let's see how we get on next time. Like and subscribe if you want to. See you later.